ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday, and I hope that you had a good weekend and the week has started well for you. Right, let me get you guys up on screen immediately in that live chat room to see who's in their house tonight. And I'm going to quickly get into this before they move too quickly. We had Suzanne and Jen and Billy, Susan and Dennis moderating in there, Benita, Rocker Girl John, not Rocker Girl John, but Rocker Girl, then John, Brian, Frank, Jennifer, Lucy, Anna, Laurie, Neil moderating as well, and Charlie, Jan going through, and Bill. Hello. Oh, Bill, I saw Bill comment saying, I remember this, and that was the song that was just requested at the beginning of the live stream over on Patreon. It was We Can Fall Down, and that was actually a live stream gig that Bill was watching live back at the time. So hello Bill, thank you for joining us on the live stream tonight, but thank you all for joining me on this Tuesday night live stream. Let me get everything up on screen so that it's nice and organised. First of all, the reason this is happening in the first place is because of my patrons, all of their fantastic support over on Patreon. So a huge shout out and hello to everybody at the bottom of the screen. You know who you are. They also do pop up in the donations windows as well during the live stream, so thank you guys for all of your support and for making it all possible. It's just amazing to be able to have that support, but also to touch base with you guys on a Tuesday and a Saturday night. So massive hello and thank you to these people at the bottom of the screen. If you want to get involved yourselves, head over to patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus, and then you can have your name at the bottom of the screen during all of the live streams as well on the Tuesdays and the Saturdays. But let me get rid of that. Let me get the likes goal up on screen to see what we're aiming for tonight. It is 315. It has been increased, so we're going to need every single like that we can muster tonight. If you can hit that thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be fantastic. And let's see where we are at the moment, 143. So we'll see if we can get a little spike of the likes going on at the beginning of tonight's live stream. It really does help this live stream to get out there, but for the channel to grow as a whole. Anyway, just a quick report about the whole situation here in the studio with my computer. I've let people know over on Patreon that yesterday my computer, and more specifically my editing software Final Cut Pro 10, was really throwing a wobbly, and it's the weirdest gremlin that I've ever experienced so far in my computing life, which is quite vast because I started using computers when I was at secondary school. Anyway, I mean, that is going way back now, like, what, 30 years, pretty much. So, anyway, yesterday, and I think it might have happened a little bit on Sunday, I'm trying to edit together the interview that we did with Phil Palmer, and that's going to be out, fingers crossed, this Sunday. So I'm working on that this week. So I loaded everything up, and it was playing back the audio of another video file while I was working on the project, but the video file that is playing the audio back from was nothing to do with the project that I was on. So it's really weird. So I couldn't stop it playing back. So when you press, it's almost like listening to a song on your MP3 player and it deciding to play another song at exactly the same time, but slightly out of sync. So I went away and deleted the song or the audio, the actual video that it was playing the audio from, so it didn't exist, and it was still playing it back on this other project when I was trying to edit it. So yeah, really weird, and I just had to restart everything and start a new project, start from scratch, and then it didn't play back that audio file, and I had deleted it anyway. So fingers crossed that has worked, because I was editing earlier today. So that's what I'm going to be working on for most of this week and getting that done so that, yeah, fingers crossed it'll be out on Sunday. But I'll let you guys know, I'll keep you in the loop, and I'll probably release a video at some point just confirming when it will be out, so you guys can make a note in your diaries or subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you do get notified for that video, because it's a very special one, because we had Phil in here talking with me on the sofa, and yeah, we talked about lots of different things. So I'm currently editing that together. Anyway, that's what I've been up to today. Yesterday was just a day of trying to sort the computer out to get it to work. But fingers crossed it's going to be okay tonight and that the live stream's going to be alright. We will see. The other thing that's happened is that my arm has got a little bit worse. Hence why, for all of this live stream, it'll be leaning on the table. I've actually got a support which makes me look like RoboCop because it's got a dial on the elbow where you set the angle that you allow your elbow to go to. At the moment I've got it at 90 degrees because that's best for my arm in order for it to try and heal itself. So outside of live streams I'm literally locked into that so that I can't move my arm, and I'm going to be gradually just increasing the angle because that's my bad arm, obviously resting it there. If I kind of put my arm straight out, that's what my arm can't do at the moment because it stretches the tendon, and it's just redoing the damage that's already been done, therefore adding infinite amount of days to my recovery. So I've got to keep it kind of bent at 90 degrees so that it can start healing itself and I don't stretch out those tendons again. So I do look like RoboCop on one arm, and it actually looks quite cool, I think. But it's actually really good that it means you physically cannot do any more damage to it because my arm's locked at that angle. And this is why it's quite effective for the live stream, because it means doing things like this and clicking for links on screen. And if I want to do the website, I've constantly got my hand on the mouse, so I don't have to get the mouse and then find where the little arrow is to then try and find on the screen, right, what am I clicking on and where's it all going. So it means that if I want to get the donations tab up on screen, I can just click straight on it. So maybe I should have been doing this all the time, but we'll see how it goes tonight. Anyway, mentioning the donations, just to put those percentages out there, between 35 and 45% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat donations window, and that's it's actually at the bottom of the live chat room for that. And through PayPal, 3 to 5% goes to PayPal, and you can find a link to that in the description below, so you can click on that if you want to do that. But it's up to you. You don't have to donate. Just you guys joining me here tonight is fantastic to interact with you guys in a live setting. Anyway, huge shout out to the moderators in the live chat room. I'm going to have to get used to doing that with the other arm when I'm actually pointing at things like the likes in the live chat room and the pick roulette likes goal up at the top. I have to remember where that is in my space. But anyway, yes, in the live chat room you'll see the moderators' names go through, and they are in blue and they have a wrench next to their names. I did mention Susan and Dennis in there earlier, but also Carla and Neil and Laurie, who do such a fantastic job. So a huge shout out to them, and a big thank you from me for spending their time during a Tuesday and a Saturday just keeping an eye on things in that live chat room. So huge shout out to them. Right, we are at 193, or is it 195 likes at the moment. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up, that'll be much appreciated. Aiming for 315, which was about there in my space of pointing to things. I'm so used to doing it with the other arm that I just naturally point with the right arm, but I'm now just having to learn to kind of do it this other way. We will get used to it. So 315 we are aiming for. 196 we are going to be having the pick roulette later on tonight, so stay tuned for that. We have got a vote going on for tonight's cover video, and it's between I Don't Want to Miss a Thing and Parisian Walkways, so get your votes in there. It looks like it's pretty close at the moment. I Don't Want to Miss a Thing is on top at 56% of the vote, so if you want to hear Parisian Walkways, make sure that you click on that other option and vote for that in the poll. And I think that's just in the live chat room. It should be at the top of there somewhere. Right, let's get into some of these donations that came in before we went live. So thank you guys for these. And Orlando has donated $2 and says, spike the likes with lots of thumbs up, plug the mug, with some pictures of some mugs there as well. Thank you for that, Orlando. And we will indeed do a plug of the mug. And there it is. And it means you just get to see the logo now, because I normally pick this up with my other arm. But there you go. Spin it around to have a look at. Spike the likes. And if you want to get your hands on any of the merchandise, as I've just mentioned, click on the link in the description below, or just the tray underneath this video. If you do have the tray appearing on your screen, click on one of those and it'll take you through to the store where you can get lots of cool stuff, including a zip-up hoodie like this that I'm modeling at the moment, or the t-shirts, and yeah, different colors of mugs and clothing and hats, and yeah, you name it is over there. So head over there if you want to get any of the merchandise. Also, you can head over to wingsofpegasus.com, which I can now click on to have a link there. And there's merchandise there that Carla makes, which is necklaces and guitar picks, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's get rid of that and get into the donations again, because Jennifer donated $10, and this was the first of 2 donations, so thank you for that. And the message was, Phil, 2 questions coming. Would love to have heard Jay Black and Roy Orbison sing together. Is there someone you would have liked to have heard together? So thank you for that. And I mean, this is something that I haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about, vocalists that I would want to hear together, but I think mostly because I started out playing the guitar. So all of my thoughts and inspiration came from guitar players, and in that sense, I mean, being a huge Jimi Hendrix fan, I would have loved to have seen Jimi Hendrix perform with, Stevie Ray Vaughan, for example. That would have been amazing. But then throw on stage as well Gary Moore. That would have been immense. Like, just stick all of these guys on stage. Eric Clapton as well. So yeah, pretty much I'd say the blues players, I'd love to have seen a collection of them playing and just soloing together, just going from one to the next. That would have been really cool. But just having Jimi Hendrix in there would have been really good had he just been around for a little bit longer. So yeah, in terms of singers, I don't know. I'd have to have a think about it. But certainly guitarists, yeah, there are a lot of guitarists that I would like to see together. But I think that nowadays there's so much opportunity for guitarists to work together, especially just over the internet. It means that you do get to see a lot of guitarists playing at events and playing at the same time on stage. So that's certainly a positive side of the increase in technology and the effectiveness of technology with the internet, being able to just contact somebody across the internet and then play together across a TV screen or a computer screen. But certainly, yeah, with travel now being so much more accessible, getting to venues, you do see a lot more guitarists just jamming with each other on stage, which is great. But in terms of singers, yeah, I don't know. I would have to think about that for a little bit of time, but like I said, my thoughts instantly go to guitar players, being a guitarist myself. But thank you for that, Jennifer. The second donation for $5 said, Phil, question 2, when it comes to being able to record voices together who never sang together, who has to give the final permission? So I'm not sure exactly what the question relates to, but if you're talking about voices of singers who aren't around anymore and people want to put their voices on a particular recording, then they'll need the permission of probably just, the estate, family members, the people that have been left in charge of the copyrights for that particular vocal, whichever vocal they then want to use in a particular song. Say, for example, sampling something, they'd have to get in touch with the copyright owners to then be able to do that. But if you're talking about singers who didn't sing together but are still alive and want to work together, that's just going to be the singers themselves, unless they are singing a song which somebody else owns the copyright to, and then generally you'll have to get the permission from the copyright owner for the singers to get together to then perform it, because you might have a couple of singers that really want to perform a particular song, but then they need to get the okay from the copyright owners. It depends. If they're getting together, singing together, and then uploading a video to YouTube, for example, then, I mean, they should know beforehand whether it's going to be copyright claimed or copyright blocked, but generally it's going to be a copyright claim, which means that the copyright owner will place adverts on their video and they will take all of the ad revenue for the song that these two singers have sung together. So yeah, the two singers won't make any money out of it. It will just be up on their YouTube channel and the ad revenue goes to the copyright owners or owner. But hopefully that's answered your question. Thank you for that, Jennifer. And Paul is in the house and has donated $2 and says, hello all, let's spike those likes. It's a great idea there from Paul. If you can hit that thumbs up, it'll be massively appreciated. And we have jumped up to 230, so that means that we're looking for 85. Is that correct? In order to hit the Pick Roulette likes goal. It seems like that is correct in my mind. 230 is quite a nice number to work out how many likes we need to get to the goal in the top right hand corner. That was quite a good point that time. That was quite accurate. So yeah, if you get maybe another tiny spike of the likes, we will see. So let me jump into the donations just in the super chat window. I know that we have had a few over on PayPal. I will get to those imminently, but just quickly scrolling up, because Stardust Unicorn has donated $5. Thank you for that, and says spike the likes. And Stardust Unicorn, of course, I always say support band to Wings of Pegasus. Weedy guitar solo. Read that a little bit too quickly. Weedy has donated $1. Thank you for that, and that's a straight up donation. And Maria has donated $2 and says wobbly, love everyone here. So thank you for that. I'm not sure what is wobbly. Hopefully this is all working and is going across the internet. I'm going to have a little look into the live chat room to see if there's any comments in there saying about the video or the feed going on, or that it's wobbling or anything. Maybe not, but thank you, Maria, for that. And yes, with my reading, that's the other problem that I have, because the screen, the text is very small. Because I've got to get everything on the screen in front of me, it means all the windows have to be tiny. So hopefully I've made a couple of mistakes with the reading, but we'll continue and see how we get on. Orlando has donated $2. Thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, do you go to physical therapy for your injuries? So no, I don't. I did try a little bit of physical therapy for myself. I was going to say physiotherapy, which is kind of the same thing, but with physical therapy, there aren't a lot of videos. Obviously, there's advice online that I look at. I'm fortunate in that I know exactly what I've done. And the problem that I have with the physical therapy, I did try a couple of days ago to do a little bit of that, but I think that's really what has set me back, and now I've got to just keep it isolated and stop it from moving, because that little bit of physical therapy is obviously stretching the tendon and damaging it again, because yeah, it was a lot more painful after just stretching it a little bit. So I'm very much avoiding that. And they say that when you've done the injury, it's going to be painful, but then when you do stretches, it then helps to loosen it up and all that kind of stuff. But that is far from what happened, and it was definitely better before I did any of that. So I think I've still got to just rest it for as long as possible and gradually just increase the angle at which my tendons can support the weight of just my arm by itself. I think, yeah, doing any kind of movement or stretches at the moment is not a good idea. So I'm just going to keep on opening the angle just bit by bit. Probably after, 2 or 3 days, I'll increase the angle, and hopefully, my theory is that if I just rest it, the tiny bit of angle that I'm extending it by, the tendon would have maybe recovered that tiny part of tendon, so then I can just move it down a little bit and it can still work on I know the most damaged part is when I have an extended arm, because that's just, my arm says, no, we are not doing that, and it is quite painful. So, but anything that is at 90 degrees feels normal, it feels fine. So I know that I need to just give it time for it to recover. But anyway, thank you for that, Orlando. And M has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, Phil, you are the Wizard of Oz. Great musician. So thank you for that, M. And that was typed, by the way, R's, not Oz, but R's, as in vocal exercises where you have R's. You do vowel exercises where you have your O's and R's and E's. So anyway, I'm sure that's what M means by that. So thank you for that, M. Jennifer has donated $5 again. Thank you for that, Jennifer. The message is, Phil, you had it right. Someone did a Patsy Cline and Jim Reeves LP, so I wondered if permission came from family or record producers. So thank you for that, Jennifer, and good to know that I got the gist of the question. And thank you for this $5 donation, Jeannie, who says, appreciate your positivity now more than ever, Phil. Hashtag stand with Ukraine. And thank you for that, Jeannie. Amen to that. Just crazy times over there. And it seems like it's just getting even more crazy over in the Ukraine. I think the problem for Putin is that he's underestimated the strength or just the resilience of Ukraine and the people of Ukraine just defending their land. And quite rightly, it's something that I do try and tune into the news as much as I can to see what's going on. I've heard that there have been talks between Ukraine and Russia, but I don't know how anything can ever come from that, considering that on the Russian side, I mean, Putin's saying that they've got to lay down their arms and basically allow themselves to be taken over, but Ukraine aren't going to do that. So there's no middle ground there, because, I mean, when you invade another country and you declare war on them, I think everyone pretty much agrees that that's not a good thing. You shouldn't do that, and you're in the wrong if you do that. And especially when it's not aggressive by Ukraine. They didn't start it. And actually, the sad thing is that in Russia, they have their own TV and they don't have any other point of view other than the Russian government. And I've seen an interview or two from people in Russia saying that Ukraine have asked for it because of the way that they run things. And, obviously they just believe in the propaganda, and we all know what, propaganda does, and it's just not something that's healthy in the least. So unfortunately, Russia are really in the dark, or at least the public are in the dark as to what's going on. And they just, especially the older population who might not even know how to use the internet or get independent news, they're just believing what they see on TV, that Ukraine have... I don't understand how... Putin's called the Ukraine Nazis or neo-Nazis, but the Ukrainian president is a Jew. So it's like, how does that... it just doesn't make sense on any level. So unfortunately, the Russian people are being just fed these lies over the TV, and unfortunately there's not a lot that you can do about that when they don't have access to anything else and every other TV station is banned in the country. But anyway... Yes, thank you, Jeannie, for that donation, and I'm sure everybody, it just feels the same and feels as strongly. I think everybody in the world is standing with Ukraine at this time, we'll have to see what happens, but I'm going to keep just tuned into the news as much as I can, and I watch, different news we get here in the UK. I think it's pretty much just independent news. I know that Sky News is independent as well, and I think that's their tagline, independent news. So I watch Sky News as well. But anyway, yes, thank you for that, Jeannie, and amen to that statement. Maria has donated $2 as well. Thank you for that, Maria. And the message is, what does wobbly mean? You said it earlier. So thank you for that donation. Wobbly is when something sways from side to side. It's there's a wibble wobble. I don't know what that's from. But we used to sing a song that had that in it about jelly. Jelly on a plate, jelly on a plate, wibble wobble, jelly on a plate. Because it wobbles when you have jelly or jello. Do you call it that over in the USA? But you shake the plate and the jelly wobbles. So anyway, yeah, wobbly means when something's unsteady and it's maybe going to fall over. But hopefully, I don't know. When did I say that? I do not know. But this is why I thought maybe the picture was going wobbly. It was like interfering and maybe moving from side to side. So thank you for that, Maria. Hopefully that's made sense of that particular word for anybody that doesn't know what it means. Maybe it's just something we use here in the UK. I do not know. So I'm just going to jump over to PayPal because there have been donations over there, but also before we went live. So a big thank you to Lynn for her donation, which was for healing power for my elbow. And also some YouTube comment hazard duty pay. And this, I think, is in relation to some of the trolls that we've had on there recently. But thank you for that, Lynn. And let me just see if there are any more that have come in before we went live. Marilyn donated £20 as well. Thank you for that, Marilyn. And the message was just a donation to thank you again for your illuminating analysis. So no problem. Thank you for the kind words, Marilyn, and for that kind donation as well. And let me now get to... This was, very early this morning, so Tuesday morning, where Dear God and Company Incorporated, I think that's Janet, donated £55. So thank you for that. A very kind donation. That was in the early hours of this morning. We now have a donation that came in from Tammy for £10, and this was at about 10:30 earlier this evening. So thank you for that, Tammy, and we're getting pretty close to being up to date. And Denise has donated £71.48. So thank you for that, Denise. And again, that happened before the live stream. That was 28 minutes past 10. So thank you for that. And we have, let me check. I think I just clicked on the wrong thing. Let me go to that one. Okay, let me just get this on screen to see if it works. Okay, right. So it is showing up on screen. But thank you for that, Denise. I think we are pretty much up to date with the PayPal donations before we went live. So that'll be about 12 midnight. So I will get back into those. But let's have a little look at the vote on the cover. I don't want to miss a thing is now at 57%. So it's 32 minutes past midnight already here in the UK. So we are going to be jumping into the cover video pretty soon. We do have one picture that we're going to be looking at tonight. We'll look at that before the pick roulette. But thank you guys for all of the donations in the live stream. Very kind donations very early on, and I mean pretty much I spend most of the live streams just saying thank you for all of the donations, but it is something that I do want to do, just to acknowledge every single donation, because without donations, without your support over on Patreon, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I think it's quite important that every donation that does come in is absolutely essential to everything that happens on the channel. So I feel like it's very important to draw attention to all of the support that comes in for the channel, because it's not just me, it's you guys that actually allow it to happen in the first place, and you guys that join me on these live streams as well in the live setting. It is great to have this as part of the channel as well on the Tuesdays and Saturdays. If it is your first live stream, hello. As I always say, introduce yourself to the live chat room and everyone will say hello. That's how we all start. And just to mention, over on Facebook, the Wings of Pegasus supporters group, you can head over there to join in with all of these lovely people between the live streams, because that's where Vince hosts the after party. So head over there after the live stream, join that group, and just get involved in the conversation between live streams if you want to do that as well. So anyway, let me see if I have managed to organize that PayPal donations. I'm not sure. Oh, let me just get this centralized. And we have had another one that's come in from Steve. So Steve has donated £5. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, there is always controversy over how people sing or did not sing the US national anthem at major events? How would approach doing God Save the Queen at an event in England? So thank you for that, Steve. And I'm not sure whether that's asking me how I'd approach it if I had to sing the national anthem, or how other people approach it. But I think, yeah, over in the USA, I'm trying to think, there is a particular note where, especially I've seen with the US, vocal instructors and courses and all that kind of stuff, because I watched a fair amount of videos because I've learned to sing from the age of 28, just checking out lots of vocal coaches, all that kind of stuff. And there's a particular note, I'm not sure if it's on Land of the Free, and it might be Free, but I can't remember, but it's the top note, and it's always the note that in that particular anthem, I'm not sure if it is that note, but there's a particular note that everyone's waiting to hear if the singer hits the note. And I just remember from these US coaches that they were saying about, right, this is how you have to approach this note of the national anthem, because it was seen as such a, I don't know, it's almost a note that has to be hit. Like, if you're flat, if you miss it, if you strain and you can't reach it, it almost ruins the whole performance. So I know that over in the US, I mean, my argument is just transpose the national anthem so that it's in your range, so that your top note is the top note of the song, so that you can reach it, because it doesn't make sense to me. And that's exactly what I'd do if I was performing the national anthem for my own country. I would transpose it so that my high note would probably be, I'd say, I don't know, maybe an A4, maybe an A sharp 4 at a push. So in that kind of area, I know that when I'm leaning into it, that I can get those notes. But getting higher than that, like a B or a high C, I know that I now have to rely more on head voice rather than being able to get a lot of body in my chest voice up that high. So again, you still get the option of, if you think, right, say for example, I'm having a bad vocal day, or I've got a cold, maybe I should take it down to a G4, which is then very comfortable, and you can make sure that the final note that you hit is your G4. I think the difference between the national anthems is that our national anthem doesn't end on a high note, even though sometimes the singer does just edit it themselves and put a high note in there themselves. So at the end where you have God save our queen, that's how it goes. And it just goes down. Some people go, God save our queen, and they go up at the end. And technically that's not right, and that's actually quite a good example of my head voice. I don't know the notes that I was hitting there, but that's what a head voice sounds like, rather than being, if I was singing it properly, I wouldn't use that voice. I'd use the supported voice of having God save, and then you start leaning into it and get more of that. And it is one of those things that I don't know how I would sing it, whether I would sing it straight, or whether, because that was just, using a bit of chest voice, but it wasn't using any compression, which is when I kind of lean into singing. If I'm singing in my own music, I'd have God save, and there's a little bit of compression in there. I'm not going save, I'm going save. And maybe you can hear I'm kind of putting a little bit more into it, a little bit more aggression. Hopefully, I'm thinking about the microphone. So apologies if that was clipping and it's come over a little bit too loud. I mean, that's probably a good example of the difference between just talking and singing in a voice where you're not leaning on your diaphragm, but then leaning on your diaphragm and adding compression, so you get a little bit more aggression in the sound. But anyway, that's enough of that. And again, apologies for that. Thinking about the mic. This isn't set up obviously for singing and lots of volume, so hopefully it's not ruined everything. Right, anyway, thank you for that, Steve, and hopefully I've answered that question. I think probably the way that I would approach it is using the voice that I use to sing, adding a little bit of, diaphragmatic support, probably not too much aggression and compression or rasp. I don't really tend to go for that anyway. But anyway, thank you for that, Steve. Just going to scroll up because Carl has donated £2 as well. So thank you for that, Carl. And the message is, Neil Diamond sold his catalogue and all recordings to Universal. He's joined the trend. So thank you for that, Carl. And yeah, this is something that we've spoken about before. A lot of artists have that view of just selling now for an upfront fee so that they get the money just in their lifetime. And I mean, it is a difficult one. I would always say, I'm one of these people that I don't know other people's situations. They might be in financial difficulty, and in that case, then yes, it's totally understandable. They might have a family member that's in financial difficulty and they just need money at that time. But I would think that if that wasn't the case, personally, I'm not bothered about living in luxury and all that kind of stuff. I never had that as a kid, so I think just anything is a bonus. I've always said if you got a roof over your head and you got food and water and enough to survive, then anything else is a bonus after that. So I'm not one of these people that if I got lots of money, for example, I wouldn't buy a mansion, I wouldn't buy lots of fast cars. I would just put that money away, still live where I lived, and maybe just do something else with that money. If I can help other people with that money, great. If I can organise, an event for people to attend, maybe to do what I do here, but on a grander scale, maybe doing it in real life, which, when talking about the interview that I did with Phil Palmer, that's the kind of thing that I think would be great if you did a tour of analysis videos with the artist, and it was something like myself and somebody that we want to speak to and ask questions to and just get an insight of their playing and their artistic approach, but in a live setting. So you guys can come down, you can be in the crowd, you can kind of sit down or stand or whatever, and you guys can ask questions and we can just pick the brain of the person that we've got on the sofa with me, maybe have a guitar set up, go through some techniques, all that kind of stuff, have a screen, maybe look at a performance, break it down in a live setting. I think that kind of thing would be really fun to do. So if I did make lots of money and had the ability to either do that, have a tour of doing that kind of thing, or having a TV show where we did that kind of thing, then I'd much rather do something like that where it's good for other people that can come and watch and they can get something out of it, rather than me just buying a fast car, like spending £500,000 on a car where I could have spent that money on actually doing something productive for all of you guys on the channel as well to get involved and just continue what we're doing here, but on a larger scale. But anyway, thank you for that, Carl. And also for that information that Neil has sold his catalogue. And yeah, one of the many artists now who are selling the rights to their songs. But thank you for that. And John has donated £14 and 30 pence. So thank you for that, John. I'm just going to scroll down because the message is, I think your vast diversity makes your channel great, as well as your personality and face, with a wink in brackets. So thank you for that, John. And this is the thing about the channel, is always and always ever going to be about just the music and artistic expression and the personality of performers. It's just an appreciation of what they do, but hopefully shining a bit of a light on different artists and what they do and why they are so good, why they're so great, and actually what makes the difference between a good artist and a great artist, because there are tiny little details that hopefully we can have a look at performances and point out where the great artists just have that ability to have so many aspects of their artistic expression down with, you know, vocal techniques. When I'm looking at guitarists having lots of techniques down with vibrato, for example, which is something that we look at with the vocalists, but also with the guitarists, how you'll see, and that is something that I would like to do in the future when my before I was saying when my wrist recovers, which, as you can see, my left wrist now is pretty much fine, and my right arm is totally out of action. So it's Sod's Law, or Murphy's Law, as I've learned. They say over in the USA that would happen. One thing fixes itself after, I think that took about a month, 2 months maybe, and now I have to wait for the right arm. But anyway, it's something that I would like to get up on screen, is a guitarist applying vibrato and compare it with the vocalist and their vibrato, so we can see how similar or different they are, because the vibrato, I've always said this on my videos about guitarists, they're turning the guitar into a voice, and it would be great to see a voice and a guitar side by side, or even overlapped, just to emphasize that point on the pitch monitor. But that's something that I'll do when I can get the guitar out in the future, and fingers crossed it won't be too distant in the future. Anyway, Tortoro Porco has popped in with a donation for £2. Thank you for that, Richard. The message is, there is currently a TV ad with Elton John where he says a number of British slangs. He doesn't have any money to pay for his food delivery and asks for a lolly from the other person in the ad. He finishes by saying his rocket is skint. What does that mean? So thank you for that, Tortoro Porco. And he doesn't. He asked for a lolly from the other person in the ad. I think lolly is just like money, but I'm not from the East End of London. I'm outside West London, so being an East Ender, that's where the rhyming slang comes from. So I've never used rhyming slang, so I'm on a totally different side of London, the opposite side. So I'm not sure people can tell the difference between accents, but my accent is more of a Brian May kind of accent, so West London outside there. East London, what tends to happen is when you get over to the East End, I'm going to have an attempt at speaking like an East Ender. It's kind of like that. So all the words start to kind of blend into one, and it's like a bit more loose like that. So also what I do is they don't pronounce their T's very much. Oh, Michael Caine. There you go. If you can hear Michael Caine's voice, he goes, I'm Michael Caine. And it's like or even the C kind of gets a bit lost. Whereas you can hear when I say kind of, my consonants are quite harsh. They're quite aggressive. Whereas the East End accent isn't as aggressive. I'm trying to bottle. There you go. So I'm having a bottle of water. A bottle of water. Or even a bottle of water. So that is an East Enders accent. Probably quite a bad one. But I would say a bottle of water. So I would pronounce the T's, and East Enders say a bottle of water. Pass me that water, mate. Mate. There you go. Mate. Water, mate. Water, mate. So those are the differences. But anyway, so yeah. Anyway, thank you to Toto Porco for that. I don't know what he means when he says he finished by saying his rocket is skint. So, I mean, skint means that you haven't got any money. So lolly is money, and skint means that you haven't got any money. But I don't know whether there's something about the rocket that might be rhyming slang. If it is, I don't know. I know dog and bone, that's phone as well. So there are bits of Cockney rhyming slang that I do know, but yeah, I don't know all of it. So maybe I have explained what the parts are there, but yeah, it's a totally different kind of side of London. So yeah, I do sound to them, to the East End of London, the West side of London sound posh. And it's more like the Queen's English, where the Queen is very much more almost dramatic like this. So even me speaking like that, it feels a bit weird for me to do it because I'm not as far as being really posh. I'm in the middle of kind of East End, and then in the middle, and then posh. I'm in the middle there somewhere. So yeah, I'm not dramatic either way, even though I think people on the East End of London would say that I am posh. So anyway, thank you for that, Richard. Hopefully that explained it. Maybe it didn't, but I gave it a go. Thank you, Marge, as well, for this donation of £1.43, and that is a straight up donation. And Suzanne has donated £14.29. Thank you for that, Suzanne. And the message is, thank you for all you do. Hope you heal soon. So thank you for the kind words, and no problem. I will keep on creating videos as long as you guys are watching them. I started creating the analysis videos just because a few people asked me over on Patreon. So it just so happens now the audience has grown a little bit to over 235,000 subscribers now, whereas before it was like 1,500. But yeah, I will keep on making the videos as long as people are requesting them, sending me the links to videos. I will look at them. Another thing that people that just pop in to the channel don't realize is that all of the analysis videos that I do are requests. So somebody writes it in a comment and they have a link to a video in the comment. I click on that link, I watch it, and then I do an analysis video on that particular video. So when occasionally people just pop in to the channel and say, oh, I can't believe you chose this video to do, you should have chosen that one. And saying, I can't believe you haven't featured that person. It hasn't been requested. I haven't received a video or a request to do a video on that person that they can't believe I haven't featured. And when they say, oh, I can't believe you chose this video, I'm not choosing the videos. I'm clicking on the link and answering one specific, sometimes they are really specific requests. And I do address that in the analysis video. I'll say, we've got quite a specific request tonight to talk about this particular aspect of this performance or of this singer. So yeah, that's something that I think people that just pop into the channel now and again don't realize. That's how it works. It's all dependent on the subscribers and you guys and your requests for particular artists and videos to take a look at. But thank you for that, Suzanne. Let me just scroll up because Tammy has donated £5. Thank you for that, Tammy, in the messages. I hope your arm gets better soon. Have you thought about getting a doctor to look at it? So thank you for that. And because of my background, I did sport and exercise science at university. So I studied that for 3 years, and we were very closely linked with the physiotherapy course, and anatomy and physiology, sports injury was all part of that. So I do know what I'm pretty sure that I know what I've done because of the tests that I've done on myself and the range of motion tests and testing extension, flexion, and I pretty much know exactly where the tendon is that is attaching to my elbow, and I know that it's medial epicondylitis, so that means it's on the inside of my elbow, and it's attaching to the medial epicondyle, which is the inside of the elbow. So I know pretty much where the tendon is and the injury, and being able to feel the injury myself rather than diagnosing it in somebody else, I can feel what it is. So I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I know what it is. What I'm going to do is rest it for, I'm going to give it a fair amount of time with just literally isolating it, and I'm then going to just do a little bit of a test of range of motion. If I find that it's not getting better, at that point, I know then it's going to be more serious. But, the good thing is that it's not sensitive to the touch. So I can press on my medial epicondyle now, and it's not painful. But in cases of what I've got, when you've got a bad case of it, that is painful because you're pushing down on the joint between the tendon and the bone. So, yeah, or should I say that the the muscle, because the muscle leads into the tendon and the tendon attaches to the bone. So when you're touching on that, it should be very painful, but it's not. So I know that mine is away from the insertion of the tendon on the bone. It's actually a little bit further away than that. So I've just got to keep it isolated for that to heal. And then once it's started to heal, I can then start to gently stretch it rather than damaging it all over again. So anyway, if it doesn't feel any better at that point, I will go to a doctor and maybe have a scan to see what's going on, because I think it should be okay just with rest. That's how it feels to me at the moment. But anyway, thank you for that, Tammy, but I'll keep you in the loop of my various problems and injury status. But thank you for that donation. Sue has donated £20 as well. Thank you for that, Sue. And it is a straight up donation as well. Right, let me just quickly go over to, we'll have a look at tonight's cover, because time is running away. Thank you guys for all of these donations. I will jump into the cover for tonight. Let's have a little look in the live chat room and bring that to a close. And let's see what the result is. I don't want to miss a thing. Did have 56% of the vote, and it pretty much stayed there throughout. So thank you guys for that. 281 votes tonight. Talking about that, if we can have a thumbs up, we are already 15 over the peak roulette likes goal. So thank you guys for hitting those thumbs up. Let's see if we can get another spike of the likes just as we jump into tonight's cover video. And hopefully I can find the video. And here it is. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys after. Rock.
Stay awake just to hear you breathing, watch you smile while you are sleeping, while you're far away dreaming. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I could stay lost in this moment forever. Every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure. I don't wanna close my eyes, I don't wanna fall asleep, cause I miss you, babe, and I don't wanna miss a thing. Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream will never do. I still miss you, babe, and I don't wanna miss a thing. Lying close to you, feeling your heart beating, and I wonder what you're dreaming. I wonder if it's me you're seeing, and I kiss your eyes. Thank God we're together. I just want to stay with you in this moment forever, forever and ever. I don't wanna close my eyes, I don't wanna fall asleep, cause I miss you, babe, and I don't wanna miss a thing. Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream will never do. I still miss you, babe, and I don't wanna miss a thing. I don't wanna miss one smile, I don't wanna miss one kiss. I just wanna be with you, right here with you, just like this. I just wanna hold you close, feel your body close to mine, and we'll stay in this moment for all the rest of time. Yeah, yeah. Don't wanna close my eyes, I miss you, babe, and I don't wanna miss a thing. 'Cause even when
And there we have it. That was my version of I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. And I just moved my right arm. Thankfully, I didn't extend it. And this is the problem, that things just happen automatically, and thankfully that was actually okay. So got away with that one. Have to concentrate on keeping that right arm still. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you for voting it in the poll tonight. And just quickly getting into the super chat window, because there are more donations in there. Carla donated $4.99. Thank you for that, Carla. The message is Weebles, toys with round bottoms so they don't fall over. So yes, wibbly wobbly and weebles looks like it's all the same kind of word. So thank you for that. Jennifer has donated $5 again. Thank you for that. And the message is the national anthem is so much easier to sing with no music because you can put it in or put it any key. People just like to show off and sounds awful. So thank you for that. That is the huge problem. Even people singing, and this is something that I've noticed about Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, the heavyweight champion of the world boxing, is at the end of, I can't remember which fight it was, but I saw another fight where he just came on and he started singing. And he's actually got the potential for a great voice, but he starts too high. So it's like when you start singing, I think you should get a good idea of your range and where your range sits. So if you're a baritone, you don't want to start, quite high up, because it means you're actually trying to sing in the tenor range, but you can't reach, and you won't be able to reach the higher notes. So it'll be like, starting the US anthem, for example. If I start here, oh, I say, nah, that's really comfortable for me. So as I go, nah, I can still hit those notes. I can still kind of get there without a warmed up voice as well, of course. Don't do what I'm doing. Warm up your voice first. But that actually might have been the note. Was that the note, the high note that I said earlier, that is the note that people are trying to get all the time? But that was a very a very quick example of starting in the right place. If I went, how sick can you see? You're already just setting yourself up to fail because you've started so high. So even when you're singing without any backing, you can still stab yourself in the back by starting too high. If anything, I think the US anthem is a really good example of starting lower than where you feel quite comfortable. So I would probably, maybe not start it in my talking voice, because even here, where you talk, you can get quite a good body in your sound. So if you can afford to take it down a little bit, it means that your top note is going to be even easier. And that's exactly what you want to do. You want to set up your vocal so that your top note is not straining, that you can hit it comfortably. You might want to, where I started singing it was probably about right if I warmed up my voice in order to hit that top note. So it's not really easy, but you get a lot of emotion in there when you lean into it, when you don't just go into the light head voice sound that I did. But if I was really performing it, obviously I would warm up and make sure that it's all in the correct key for my particular voice. So anyway, back to Tyson Fury. This is what I'm saying, that he starts a little bit too high. So it's, especially when you're excited, you might be in front of a lot of people, then you'll start naturally higher because of the excitement. It's just having that discipline to think, right, I'm going to start lower, but even giving yourself that pitch so that you get a reference point as to where your good note is to start. So then sets it up later on. But anyway, so let's move on. But thank you for that, Jennifer. it's interesting with these live streams. We have different themes, and we've just got a bit of a national anthem theme going on. So yeah, it's an interesting topic. So anyway, thank you for that, Jennifer. And Jen has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Jen. And the message is, I'm going to send you some Aqua Net hairspray to keep that unruly bit of fringe away from your right eye. 80s reference there. So thank you for that, Jen. And it's actually okay because it might look like it's in my eye, but it's not in my eye. It's just a little bit too short. So it's not interfering, but I'm sure probably over the next week or two, it'll then start going in the eye, which is not desirable at all for me making the videos. It just depends where the hair falls. Sometimes you can dry your hair, and for some reason it's at more of an angle, so it then doesn't go into my eyes. It's just totally random, but yeah, we will see what happens. Thank you, Randy, as well, who has donated $10. So there's a message with this that says, enjoy your channel and watching your library of videos. So thank you for that, Randy. And by the way, let me apologise to anybody in the USA for the rendition of the national anthem that I gave. It was just an example. It wasn't a performance. So apologies for that with hindsight. Let me just jump over to PayPal because Sally's donated £12.15. I don't think we got to that one. So thank you for that, Sally, in the messages. Hello, Phil. Laugh out loud. I cannot convert to make this even, so I never know what it will be, but long live the live stream. I hope your recovery is coming along successfully. So thank you for that, Sally. And yeah, it's just about the conversion rates of the US dollar and the pound. It never works out. It's all a bit random. But thank you for that, Sally, the £12.15. And Carla's donated £6.23. Thank you for that, Carla. Straight up donation there. And Janice has donated £14.29. Thank you for that, Janice. I am going to be 6 minutes past 1. We're going to have to move things along very quickly. But Janice says, so grateful that I stumbled into your channel via voice analysis. Phil, thank you. How about a duet? Marlena Dietrich and Fats Domino, Blueberry Hill. Been hearing it in my head for years. Laugh out loud. So I'm going to have to check that out. That's not one that I have seen before. So thank you for that, Janice. I will make a note of that, stick it on the list. But thank you for that donation as well. Blair has donated £14.29. Thank you for that, Blair. And the message is, hi Phil, I wanted to show support for your channel because I really appreciate what you are doing. Keep up the good work. So thank you for that, Blair. And it wasn't on screen, but there we have it now on screen for you guys to be able to see as well. So thank you for that, Blair. And there's another one. Joyce has donated £5. Thank you guys for these donations, and Joyce for that. I almost said my name because I saw my name on the screen. Hi Phil, my name is Joy. I found you a couple of weeks ago and I just wanted to say I appreciate what you do. All the best to you. So thank you for that, Joy, and for that kind donation as well. And just quickly, Kevin has donated £1 as well. Kevin says, happy 78th birthday to Roger Daltrey. P.S. I think Elton was saying slang terms for money. So thank you for that. And yes, they were, lolly, what was it? And skint. Yeah, skint means that you haven't got a lot of money. But lolly is money, I think. But anyway, thank you for that, Kevin. And Caroline has donated £7 and 15 pence. Thank you for that, Caroline. Straight up donation there. And Philip has donated £10. Thank you for that, Philip. The message is, Phil, you may have to start a medical channel too. Love your videos and the live show. Awesome. So thank you for that, Philip. Yeah, we talk about all sorts on the live streams. It is a bit of a break, a bit of an escape from the normal analysis videos. Generally, I mean, it either tends to be food, hair, exercise, diet, injuries, so, maybe physiotherapy, all that kind of stuff in the future, but we will see. But anyway, thank you for that, Philip. Right, let's jump into tonight's picture, the picture that we haven't seen yet, and just one of these tonight. It is going to be Paul. Let's get Paul up on screen because Paul is sporting a bit of Wings of Pegasus merchandise here, of course, with the hat, the Wings of Pegasus t-shirt, the mug, but you might notice it has been a little bit customized because it says jollily spiking the likes. And this is a word that I said on the last live stream that we found out was an actual word. And thank you for uploading this picture, Paul, but also for adding jollily to the Spike the Likes mug. And that's not officially on the mugs, and that is going to have to be a customization that people can make themselves. But you can get the Spike the Likes mug in the tray underneath this video, but over at spring.com, and the link is in the description below. But thank you for that one, Paul. And, oh, bucket hats. That's what the type of hat that Paul's got on is called. And I always forget them because I'd never heard of a bucket hat before. They're actually available on the store. So thank you for that, Paul. Right, let me get rid of that. And I should now be back on screen. And by the way, 377 likes. And if you can hit that thumbs up, that would be great. In that live chat room, it still counts. If you're watching this on catch up, you can still hit that thumbs up. It really helps the channel to grow and for this live stream to get out there a little bit more. Let's jump into tonight's pick roulette. And I haven't picked anybody as the top tip, so again, I'm going to unfortunately have to curse somebody when we jump into it. But let's get into that now, and I'll see you guys in a second. Rock! So, let's get the roulette wheel up on screen. On Saturday, we had a t-shirt roulette because we did land on the darker segment, which is the t-shirt section. So if we do land on one of those, we'll do the same again. But we will be spinning this wheel until we get a winner for the pick. I mean, that's something that slightly confused me last time because it says, congratulations on winning, and it said something and, yeah, threw me off about the pick. So we are going to be spinning this. Let's pick a top tip. We're going to go for John Gaffney. So apologies to you, John. I've picked you out as the top tip for tonight. And let me just make a note of that. Right. Let's give the wheel a spin. Let's give the spin a spin. Or the spiel a whippin. Just don't mind me, I'm just seeing what my brain is trying to do with the letters. It loves to swap them around. Anyway, let's give the wheel a spin and see who's going to win. That's what I was trying to say. It is slowing down. Here we go. We have Mary Orlando just going through there. We have Hannah going through Charlie, Lucy Vincent. Is he going to get as far as Kimberly? Maybe. Or even Lisa. It might even be Lisa, and it's gone into the center of that segment. It is Lisa, so congratulations to you. Let me move that across so you can see the confirmation that Lisa has won the signed Wings of Pegasus pick tonight. Commiserations to John. Sorry about that, John, for picking your name, but also commiserations to everybody else that didn't win tonight. I always say you can double your chances of winning by entering the Tuesday night pick roulette and the Saturday night pick roulette when we hit those likes goals. So make sure that if you are tuning in tonight on a Tuesday, tune in on Saturdays as well, because then you'll double your chances of going away with the signed Wings of Pegasus pick. So Lisa, if you could let yourself be known to Carla in that live chat room, that would be massively appreciated so that she can organise everything with you to send that signed Wings of Pegasus pick to you. Right, let's get that off the screen. Back to me. Now, I have to be careful as I move my arm to type at Carla Murray in order to tag her name, because the entry is now open for next week's pick roulette, and you have to do what I am doing here and what everybody will be doing very soon in that live chat room. Just typing at Carla Murray in order to tag her name in your comment, and then type I agree. And there's going to be an example of that just going off in the live chat room in a second. You'll see it's about to go crazy in that live chat room with all of these entrants. So just copy what everybody else is doing in there to get your name on next week's pick roulette wheel. And it's always the next week. That's how the pick roulette works. So when we hit the target on a Tuesday, the next Tuesday, the names will be on the wheel from the previous week. So your name will be on next week. It's the same thing for Saturdays. Saturday's live stream is then the Saturday pick roulette. It's always a week afterwards. So hopefully that makes sense. Only enter once, please, just to make it easy for Carla to grab all of your names. If you do it twice, then it'll cancel out your name rather than just having one. The best way to think of it is if you click on the thumbs up and then you click on it again, it disappears if you enter it again. So make sure you just do it once so that Carla can grab your username. Another just technicality is that your username that you enter with has to be the username that you're putting on the wheel and is selected. So don't say that, you know, oh, that's my other username and I won because that's my other username. It has to be the one that you're using at the time on the live stream, because as you can imagine, people using other usernames to put on the wheel, again, that means they can have multiple entries and it's not going to work that way. So just to point that out. And of course you have to be in it to win it. So you have to be in the live chat room when you win to then organize everything with Carla to get it sent off to you. So anyway, just keep entering in that live chat room. And I can see that Celeste is, she's tagged Wings of Pegasus in a comment. Let me just quickly read that. And it just says, Wings of Pegasus fans tonight. Wings of Pegasus, Phil, and all moderators. So thank you for that, Celeste. I think that's just about to go through that live chat room at the bottom of the screen. So, let me see. Oh, Carla's saying something. Do not add t-shirt on your entry unless you have 2 picks, or you won't be put on the pick wheel. So thank you for that, Carla. And that's just for the very few people who have won 2 picks. Some people have won more than one. I know that a lot of people just haven't even won once yet, but there are a few people that have won twice. So that's just pertaining to them. So thank you for that. Right, it's 1:15 here, so we are going to be calling things to a close. And just quickly get in your entries for that in the live chat room, just over there. I can see that a few are going through. Maybe we can play a very quick video and have a little look over on Patreon to see what's been requested. Or I can just find a random video on the software. Let me have a little scroll down and see if I can find anything. Actually, I did see, and it's going to be sod's law that I'm not going to be able to actually find this now because something popped into my head. The Oblivion cover. I saw somebody request that over on Patreon, but I'm looking for it now. There's so much information on the screen that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find it, but I'm going to have a little look down the list. I'm seeing everything but that particular cover, but I'm going to make it my mission now because I've seen it over on Patreon. I'm going to scroll down, have a look through the list of, we've got, I mean, I'm seeing like Jingle Bells is in there. It's not really the right time for Jingle Bells. Steven, still haven't found what I'm looking for. There's even like a riff of the week in there. What's that riff of the week? Should I play the riff of the week and just see what that is? I tell you what, let's watch this riff of the week. I'm just going through files on my computer to give you guys a little bit longer to have this live chat room or to type in I agree and tag Carla Murray. I'm just going to press this. Hopefully it won't take up all the screen. Let's have a look. And there you go, a random riff of the week. That's something that I used to do over on Patreon, and I did 100 of those, so it was 100 weeks of riffs. So I've got 100 of those somewhere on my hard drives stored. But I tell you what, somebody say what that is in the live chat room. I'm just having a quick look to see who gets it first. And it looks like moderator Carla has got it. She says, oh, well, of course. So thank you for writing that out. Actually, I can see how close was that. it was Fred that said "oh well" as well, and Cause said "oh well." So that was just, yeah, a random file. Let me see what else I can find. I'm still kind of looking for Oblivion. There's more than words there. There's another riff of the week here. Should I play that one, or should I keep looking for... Ooh, this riff of the week says it's advanced. So what does that mean? I'll tell you what, let's have a look at this and see what this is. I've never actually been through the files to see what's on here from years ago, but let's have a look at this riff of the week as well. And I'm pretty sure that nobody's going to get this. This is why it was an advanced riff. Well, it is actually quite advanced to play, but that it doesn't relate to that. It's an advanced riff as to how many people will know what it is. I'm going to look into the live chat room to see if anybody can name that riff. I don't think anybody's going to get it, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. I tell you what, I'll give you a few minutes. I'm going to have a look down. People are saying, oh well, Fleetwood Mac, last riff, yes, but let's see if anyone can get this new one. Anyway, I'll leave that to you guys in the live chat room. Let me have a little scroll down, and I've found Oblivion. Yes, so we'll jump into this very quickly. Oh, Kimberly says Dr. Feelgood. No, it's not. Oh, look, Damon said, sounds like Dokken. Really close. Dokken is really close. And we're going to jump into Oblivion now. So I'm going to tell you exactly what it was. It was Lynch Mob, so it's George Lynch. And it was Street Fighting Man. So there you go. People probably think, what? I've never heard of that, but that was the riff from that particular song, Street Fighting Man by Lynch Mob. Anyway, let's jump into Oblivion, and then we're going to be calling it to a close. And last chance really now to get your I agrees in and tag Carla with your I agree in order to get your name on the pick roulette next week. Anyway, this is my cover of the computer game Oblivion. I hope you guys enjoy it. Rock! And there we have it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's a subconscious movement after a video to bring my arm across. I've got to try and unlearn that movement. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy that. And just listening to that theme again, that is one of those games. It has to be one of my favourite games of all time, because you know if you don't play games, you probably can't relate to this. But when you hear the theme of a game that you used to play a hell of a lot, it just takes you back to that time. It's exactly, I mean, it is music. It will take you back to that time, but especially with games, it takes you back to playing that game, and then you feel how much you enjoyed playing it. And that takes me back to when I was, I think, 18. And it was the first computer game that I got for my PlayStation 3, I think it was at the time. And back then, PlayStation 3s, I know that PlayStation 5 has now come out, but the PlayStation 3 was something that was very new, because I had the PlayStation 2 before that, I had the PlayStation 1 before that, and before that I had the Sega Mega Drive, before that I had the Sega Master System, and before that I had something that I'm not sure what it was called, but it was the tennis, where you have the line on the side of the screen and you've got to stop the ball, and it goes bonk, bonk, and you just got to stop it from going behind your line. So that was the first computer game that I had. So really early in computers, they weren't really a thing, and then they came along, and my uncle just had this particular machine that was amazing. So anyway, enough of that. Thank you for requesting that over on Patreon. I'm just seeing whether I imagined that or not, or somebody did. Oh, it's Lisa who requested that, Oblivion, over on Patreon. So thank you for requesting that one. It's been a bit of, Pong. Lisa says in the live chat room, is that what it was called? Maybe that's the name of the game. I can't remember. I'm trying to think of what the actual computer was called. I mean, it was huge. And it's probably about the size of a PS3, and it just had different variations of the game on there, and you used to connect it to your TV, and then there's a little box between it and the computer, and you selected on that what type of game you wanted to play, and it just changed the display. But it's pretty much always just one bar on the left, one bar on the right. I think just the lines changed on the screen. But anyway, yeah, that was, I was just born into when gaming started to now become a thing, when I was like 8 or 9 years of age. And as I was getting into that, I had a Nintendo Game Boy as well. Before that, I had the Donkey Kong handheld. It was a really early version of Mario, where he would run up, and then you had Donkey Kong, who was throwing down barrels, and you had to jump over it, and there's a little handheld system, and I can't remember what that was called, but it was like a flip thing. So it was a very early version of what then the Nintendo Game Boy became. So yeah, I then got a Game Boy, which was the most amazing Christmas ever, that I got a Game Boy with Super Mario World. So yeah, I couldn't believe that I got a Game Boy. That was amazing. So yeah, anyway, talking about gaming now, but thank you guys for joining me tonight. We are going to be calling it to a close, but hopefully you guys have all typed in I agree, and you'll be on that wheel next week. If you have done that and you've tagged Carla Murray's name, then you will be on the wheel next week. Anyway, thank you guys for all of your very kind donations. I can see that Jan has donated 30 Norwegian kroner as well with some rock horns, so thank you for that, Jan. And it's been a bit of a random live stream tonight, because we've been jumping into the vaults of the stuff that I've got on the software that's been left there for probably about a year or two, but nevertheless interesting to take a look at some riffs as well. Anyway, we are going to be calling it to a close now, and I've rambled on, and that's 27 minutes past 1, but thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'll see you at another video tomorrow night, analysis video. I'm working on editing the Phil Palmer video together, so I'll keep you guys in the loop over on patreon.com. If you want to get involved yourselves, head over to there, patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus, and I'll keep you guys up to date on a daily basis, as I always do, as to what's going on and how I'm getting on with that whole editing process. Anyway, have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you in that video tomorrow night. If I don't see you then, I'll see you on Friday and the live stream on Saturday as well. So stay safe, everybody, in this crazy world that we're living in at the moment, and just we'll try and keep our hopes for the future that some countries, and one country in particular, will see sense. Hopefully, I don't know how that's going to happen, because it seems like he's the kind of person that just can't see sense in any way, shape or form, but wherever you are, just stay safe and do everything that you can to, I think, as well, appreciate what we have in other countries, that when you see things happening in other countries, that it really does make you appreciate just every single day and just democracy and having the ability to be free. And yeah, it really does put things in perspective. But anyway, guys, stay as safe as possible, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock.